Welcome to our writing lesson. Students watching and boys and girls in this classroom, we are ready to see how well we recognize our cursive letters, both our capital and our lowercase letters. Let's go over to my chart and let's see how well you remember these. Students watching, I'm going to have you start with this letter. And Hannah S. is ready. What is it?
H.
Good for you. Now, students watching, every time I point to a letter, see if you're faster with recognizing this letter than the person I call in our classroom. Next one, Jaden K.
P.
Very fast. What about this one here, Isaiah?
I.
Easy for Isaiah because he has that in his first name. This letter right here, Jacelyn, love those eyes.
E.
Good job. Students watching, it's a tough one again. And help us, Rio.
X.
Excellent work. This one right here is another hard one, Benjamin. Oh, look one more time. Look at what this letter is. This one's a hard one. Students watching, do you know this one? Benjamin needs some help. Willow, help him.
Q.
It is. What is this, Benjamin?
Q.
Notice the difference. This is our G, and we'll talk about the difference between G and Q, but this is our Q right there. Let's do one more, this one right here. Help us with this one, Jaden K. Again, I like that smile.
N.
N is it, and we learned that one in a previous lesson, our lowercase letter. Today, we're ready to start a brand new letter. And what is exciting about this letter is it is our very first capital letter. Now, I don't know about you, students watching and boys and girls in this classroom, but I've had this happen to me before. When I was about your age and I was shopping with my mom, people would stop and they would say, "You look just like your mother." Well, the letter we're going to learn today, if you know how to write little letter A, it's Mama. The big letter, the capital A, looks just alike. It's just a little bit bigger. So if you know how to write our lowercase a, give me a smile, then our capital letter will be easy, easy, easy. Just watch to make it a little bit bigger, just like your mom's a little bigger than you are. Letter A is going to start right underneath the ceiling. So not right on the ceiling, Willow, just a little bit below it. We're going to curve up to touch the ceiling, go down all the way to the floor, to that carpet. Go back up to where we started and carefully retrace. Touch that carpet and stop at the downstairs midline. Now watch me as I trace this letter again. Remember, if you know how to make lowercase a, capital A is easy, just a little bit bigger. Start right underneath the ceiling. Curve up to touch the ceiling. Curve down to touch that carpet, go back up to where you started, retrace, touch the carpet, and stop at the downstairs midline. Now, students watching and boys and girls in our classroom, let's get our pointer finger ready. Let's get up right underneath the ceiling. Good, Jaden K's ready to join us. Let's curve up to the ceiling. Now curve down to touch that carpet. Go back up carefully to where we started, retrace, touch the carpet, and stop at the downstairs midline. Now, on my board, I am ready to trace, and students watching and boys and girls in our classroom, watch me as I trace this letter. If we trace neatly, we're going to be able to write neatly, so we really want to take our time. Letter A starts just a little bit underneath the ceiling block. I'm going to curve up to touch the ceiling. I curve down, Tyson, to my carpet. Then I go right back up to where I started. I retrace carefully. I touch the carpet, and I stop at the downstairs midline. Now, on my board, I want to find some people who know how to make capital A. In my red box, I would like to have Brock. In my orange box, let's have Leah. In my yellow box, let's have Jaden K. In my green box, we'll have Willow. And in my blue box, let's have Isaiah. While they're doing that, let's do something. Give ourselves some ground. Give ourselves a ceiling. And we're going to go a little bit under the ceiling. And let's trace and write capital letter A. We're going to start right underneath the ceiling, curve up to that ceiling, Go back, down, 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 carefully. Touch that ground, touch the carpet. Now go back up to where we started. Retrace, be careful, don't put any bubbles. Touch that carpet and stop right at the downstairs midline. Hands are right in our lap. Students watching, how did you do with that letter? Let's check these letters on the board. Good, Brock, that was a really good start. Brock, the only thing I want you to really work on, thank you, you can have a seat, and students watching, we're going to work on this too, is have careful retracing. That can be hard to do, so that's why we're practicing. But I like, Brock, how you were careful to make your capital A bigger. This one right here, very nice and neat. I like the slant that you added too. Oh, it makes me smile. This one again is a very good start. Just one little thing, and we'll keep working on not having any bubbles added. This one looks good. Only thing to work on is just have a little bit more slant, and it will help when we have our lines. And our last one right here, just be careful with where you connect. Have a nice smooth connection right there. Now, on my board, let's see if I can make capital A all by myself. Leah knows I can do it. She's got a smile on her face. I'm starting right underneath this ceiling. I'm going to curve up to the ceiling. I go down, I touch the carpet, I go back up where I started, I retrace, I touch, and I stop. Now, did you notice what I had on my board? See how little letter A looks a lot like capital letter A? I'm telling you, if you're good at little a, capital A is going to be easy. I have somebody's name on my board. Read this name to us, students watching. And what name do you see, Brock?
Al.
Al is correct. Now, why did I say that this was a name, students watching? And why do you think I called this a name, Jaden L?
Because it starts with a big letter.
It does start with a capital letter, but our students watching couldn't hear your good answer. Say it again.
It starts with a capital.
It does, and capital letter A could start a name or it could start a sentence. We're right underneath the ceiling. I like those eyes, Rio. We are carefully curving down to that carpet. We're going back up to where we started, retracing, and notice something about capital A. It connects. I don't need to pick up my pencil. I just continue and finish my letter L. So students watching and boys and girls in our classroom, let's get our chalkboard nice and clean. Looks good to me. Get right underneath that ceiling. Let's make Al's name. Curve up to the ceiling. Go all the way down to the carpet. Go back up to where you started. Retrace carefully. Now, loop into your L. Don't pick up your finger. Loop around, touch your carpet, and stop at the downstairs midline. Oh, students watching, I see some nice L's. Oh, looks great. Kendra, hands right in your lap. Now watch me as I write Al's name on the board. I'm starting right underneath that ceiling. I'm curving up. I'm going down. I'm back where I started. I'm going to retrace. I go into my letter L. I loop, and I stop. Prepare for writing. Now, students watching and boys and girls in our classroom, we have a warm-up today, and it is our oval. I'm going to work on the ovals on the board while you get started on your paper. So everybody has their pencil. I've got my chalk, and we're just getting our fingers ready for these ovals, going around, making them nice and neat. Now remember, not moving your fingers, but moving your whole arm to neatly make those ovals. That gets us ready to write our capital letter A. Good, Kira's off to a good start. Go on to your second row of ovals, that nice, smooth motion with those ovals. Good, Xavier. Looking good, Jaden K. Now, find your blue letter A at the top of your paper. Is this the capital A or lowercase a, students watching? And which one is this, Jacelyn? Is it capital?
Capital.
It is our capital A. Let's trace our capital A. Start at your red dot right underneath the ceiling. Now curve up, touch that ceiling, and curve down to the carpet. Touch the carpet, go back up to where you started. Retrace carefully, touch the carpet, and then stop at the downstairs midline. Now, go to house number 1, find that gray capital A, and neatly trace it. Looks better every day. Good. Good for you. Now, Lucas, I'm going to move your paper just a little bit so you got some more slant. Finish house number 1. Good. Looks very nice. Let's just try something. Smoothly right. Now be careful. Neat tracers make neat writing, so neatly trace. Good. This looks very nice, Hannah S. Nice and neat. You're doing your best work, Tyson. That's what I want. Notice what is at house number 2. Students watching and boys and girls in our classroom, we have a chance to practice capital A and lowercase a. I want you to trace and then write a set at each red dot. How's it going? Good. This one is your best one so far, but just be careful about connection. This one right here, we want to get right touching that carpet. So why don't we do something? Let's have one more dot there to try it, and that one is one of your better ones. Good. Isaiah, something to be careful of is definitely slant and retracing. Why don't we do one together? There we go. Now don't hold it quite so hard. That's going to hurt your hand. Not quite so hard. There we go. A little bit softer. There. Does that feel better? Just around. Out. Just like that. Hey, what do you think? We're a good team, aren't we? House number 2 has somebody's name. Students watching, read that name to us. And Isaiah, share with us the name at house 2.
What?
Now look, one more time. What's our first letter? A says? A. A. O. A. O. Ow. What is it? Al is it. Let's trace Al's name and then write it. Very pretty, Kendra. Only thing to work on here is having that smooth connection. Don't go beyond that red dot where you started. So why don't we try that one more time? Uh-oh, where's your little letter A? Get both of them in. Beautiful. Very pretty one right here. Let's do this one again. Don't give them a pointed top and don't go below the carpet. Well, we're going across. So you go across with us. At house number 3, we have another name to practice. Read that name to us, Jacelyn.
Beth.
Our name at house number 3. Look at how many vowels. Students watching, we're going to practice the name Abe. Trace and write it. What is it? What's our name? There you go. See how it's got a long sound and then it's silent at the end? Now, let's try this connection one more time. Just your capital A. Your little A is looking good. Leah, that's very neat. I like your slants. Very pretty row. Why don't we do this one more time since we have an extra mark? Xavier, very neat. Uh-oh, Brock, why don't you and I do one together? House number 3 has a blend. Read the blend to us, Jed.
Ba.
Trace ba and write ba. Notice we have 2 lowercase letters we're connecting. Here's what we want to do. We want to come around just like that. Oh, now be careful. Let me be in charge of this pencil. You just let your fingers follow, okay? There we go. Now, we'll do it in just a moment. Pencils down, eyes on me. Students watching and boys and girls in our classroom, you're going to notice something at house 4. It's our first sentence to write. Whenever we write a sentence, trace a word, go right underneath it and write that word, then go back to trace, then write. we want to work on our spacing. So students watching, work with your on-site teacher on houses 4 and 5 and work on having neat spacing.